Happy Saturday, guys. Happy match day eve. So since the last time I did a video, obviously we got the 4-2 victory in the Carabao Cup against Lincoln, made up with that game, and there's a number of reasons why. Firstly, I think the new lads that came in and made their debuts, that's Moise Keane, Iwobi, sorry, not their debuts, their full debuts, their full, starting for the club, Delph and Sidibe as well. I think Sidibe to start with, yes, there was a couple of ropey moments and Lincoln were getting a lot of joy down that right-hand side, but considering it was his first game in a different country, a strange one as well, playing Lincoln away in the pouring down rain, not making any excuses for those ropey moments, but I think he'll be just fine. He looks like he has got a touch of quality about him. It's just a matter of getting him sharp and prepared for the Premier League. That said, I do expect that Seamus Coleman will be back in the side in his place tomorrow. So Fabian Delph, the next person I wanted to talk about, I think he's absolutely fantastic. What a game he had. The passing range on him is phenomenal. It's quite exquisite, and you can see that he is, a winner. He's got that class about him and that real quality and assuredness in his performances, and also something that we said, when we signed him, was that he had that winning mentality and he's not afraid to speak up and, be a leader on the pitch. And you saw that already against Lincoln. You could see him, shouting to players, telling them what to do, even before the game, trying to hype us all up. And that's what we need. It's exactly the kind of player that we need on the pitch for Everton. And fingers crossed we see him get a start against Wolves, because I think he looked fantastic. But we'll have to wait and see. The starting 11 for me was pretty much bang on. Obviously, we saw Mason Holgate come in for Yerry Mina. I expect that Yerry Mina will come back in for him again tomorrow. But I think Mason Holgate, other than a couple of, again, ropey moments, and it's something I've spoken about numerous occasions with Holgate, that although he is a player that clearly has got a lot of talent, there's always a little heart and mouth moment with him when he plays, where he might try something a little bit extravagant, or and gives the opposition an opportunity. And there was a couple of those moments. However, I think on the whole he had a decent game, so it was good to see him come back in. The other two debutants, full debutants, so Iwobi and Michael Keane, Moise Keane. I think Iwobi particularly, he'll probably take the limelight a little bit off Keane, obviously because he scored the goal. He was really unfortunate not to get himself an assist in the first half when Richarlison should have buried a chance. But he just looks lively. From the start, Iwobi looked absolutely fantastic. Constantly feel like he's going to make something happen when he's on the pitch. It was the same when he got the last half hour against Aston Villa, and it was the same when he started against Lincoln on Wednesday night. And yeah, he had the two opportunities. One was a really good save from the goalkeeper, fantastic effort at goal, and in the second half he had one that whistled just wide of the post, and of course he does pop up with the goal in the end. Moise Keane as well on his full debut for the club. I think he did very well. As I said, I think Iwobi takes it a slight bit because obviously getting the goal and everything else, but yeah, he was unfortunate not to get a goal himself. Moise Keane on Wednesday, just after not long after we'd equalised actually through that exquisite Luca Dean free kick that we've come to know and love. We know what he can do. But yeah, I think that Moise Keane, a goal's got to be coming from him. A goal's got to be coming soon. We saw in the last home game towards the end when he came on glimpses of what he could do, and him being a little bit unfortunate not to get on the score sheet. We saw that happen again against Lincoln. As I said, not long after we equalised, he makes a run and has a shot at goal which rattles the post. So yeah, you get the sense that it's just getting closer. It's just getting closer with him. The more minutes he gets under his belt, the more he has a chance to gel with his new teammates. So fingers crossed, if he gets the nod to start tomorrow, which I hope he does, we might see him get a goal to his name, a Goodison Park goal from Moise Keane. That would just be delicious, wouldn't it? Or Iwobi, or just any of you, to be honest with you, would be fantastic. But no, good result, overall performance fantastic. As I said, if you'd give Iwobi man of the match if it wasn't for the fact that Luca Dean is just, I don't even know what to say about him. I'm always totally ridiculously wax lyrical. Oh, I can't speak. But yeah, he's boss, and I said at the start of the season, for me, he's the best left back in the league. And as I say, I don't just say things like that because he plays for Everton, because it'd be ludicrous to say that we've got the best players in the league in, you know, every position. But for me, in left back, we do in Luca Dean. And I think he's just, I'm just so happy he's an Everton player. And again, Marcel Brand's coming through with the players like that, and Marco Silva. What a steal we signed him for. The guy is just absolute world class. I find it too hard to find many faults with him, so it was great to see him get a goal as well. For the goal that put us 2-1 in front, I often forget about that one a little bit. It gets lost, but Sigurdsson, now myself and no doubt many other Evertonians, most other Evertonians, that's probably not fair to say. There'd have been a few of us that were holding our breaths a little bit and going, why? When you see Gylfi step up to take the penalty, given his pretty horrendous record in recent seasons at taking penalties, both for club and I think country as well there. So yeah, last season we saw he failed to put them away on many occasions, and I was just thinking, oh gosh, here we go. Obviously at this point it's 1-1. It goes to extra time if you don't win the game in normal time, so you're thinking, oh, we really need to score this. So credit to Gylfi, because he was captain on the night, he took the responsibility, he was like, right, I'm having this, I'm taking it. And when you're like that, it was, you know, you've got to score, you've got to put it away, and he did that perfectly, rocketed it into the roof of the net. So that put us 2-1 up. It all got a bit crazy there with the scuffle and everything else, but yeah, it was great. It was great to see Gylfi do something, because he has been a frustrating one recently for me. So yeah, made up for him to have got the goal, and as I say, it's good to see that he was confident enough to do so, and that's good going forward. He's got one, you know, he's got that off his back now. He's scored a nice pen, so hopefully that'll serve us well later in the season. The third goal then, so this was probably my favourite. Again, credit to Marco Silva. The substitutions that he made on Wednesday, I think, were bang on, right time, right players. I was pleased with Dominic Calvert-Lewin, because when he came on, he looked pretty sound. He, you know, held the ball up for us at times, helped with his physicality and stuff like that. So credit to Dom. I think he did well with what was asked of him, and I was pleased to see that he didn't start, obviously, because of how things have gone lately. That's the kind of way I think we use him, certainly for this season. So yeah, that goal, the subs that had come on, Cenk Tosun as well. I was made up for Cenk, because we all love him. Evertonians love Cenk Tosun. It's just a matter of, is he good enough for the Premier League? Is he up to the pace of it? We're not so sure, but we love him. We love his work ethic. We love his attitude, and he hasn't half obviously got a shot on him as well. So, but there's still questions to be asked. So anyway, I was delighted to see him come on and get the assist, and it's really, he executes it perfectly as well. It's not an easy thing to do, and it's so selfless. And as I say, he gets it spot on, and then it's an excellent headed goal from Alex Iwobi on his full debut for the club. And yeah, like I said, I'm just absolutely beaming over him right now. Like, you can see all Arsenal fans, anyone that I'm pals with that supports Arsenal, have said, look after Alex for us. You know, he's very, very highly thought of at Arsenal, and I think they were sad to see him go, and I think he's going to be a real sort of favourite with us Toffees, because he's just looking to get us forward at every opportunity, and that's something that we've been crying out for. So him and Keane, glad to see them both start. The fourth goal as well towards the end of the game, delighted for Richarlison. He needed that. You know, he hasn't been performing well so far this season. He'll know that, of course. We know that. The manager will know that. He's just not been hitting the heights that he'll clearly want to be hitting, and that is frustrating. And you can see he's going around the pitch looking, he's got a big frown on his face, his little bottom lip sticking out, and it's just not been going for him. So he missed another couple of good chances before he did put the ball in the back of the net eventually. So it's made up for him. Again, a ridiculous bit of skill down the left, just pure rude and naughtiness from Luca Dean down the left-hand side. Beautiful ball in, bang, and an absolute bullet of a header from Richarlison. And he needed that. You saw how much he needed it. You saw how much it meant to him with him holding his shirt up to the fans, the travelling supporters. And yeah, I like seeing that, because exactly what he said, you know, if you play for the badge on the front of the shirt, they'll remember the name on the back, and that's what he was doing. It wasn't him going, look at me, Richarlison, look at the name. I thought it was quite obvious what he was doing. And he does it for Brazil, he's done it for Everton before. So made up for Richie, and hopefully that will get that off his back again, and he'll feel a bit of confidence going into the Wolves game. We know he likes to score against Wolves. I was there for the first game of last season at Molineux, as many of you others will have been as well. We saw him fire 2 goals on his full debut for the Toffees, so he likes to score against Wolves, we know that. And as I said, the goal against Lincoln, I think will do his confidence the world of good. You know, to get his first one of the season, tick that off is a big thing, and hopefully we see. It's still the Copa America for me. I think it's clear that he's still fatigued. He's still, you know, he hasn't had a rest forever. So we need to be patient with Richarlison, because it's going to be hard for him for a little bit. I don't think we're going to see it. It's understandable that he's not been up to. It's frustrating, yeah, of course it is, but you know, I think we'll see him improve. Same with, you know, Andre Gomez had a stinker against Villa, but hopefully he'll come back in and have a good game for us. So yeah, that was all very, very good. Of course, we've got Wolves this Sunday, tomorrow. And you know what, I can't wait, because there's no better thing than being inside Goodison Park. I just love match days. I love aways, but I love going to Goodison Park and being at the Grand Old Lady. Wolves, obviously a big historic club, good supporters, fantastic side, I've got to say. They're no pushovers. They're a very, very good team. They've got an awful lot of good players in that side, players that can hurt Everton. For me, Jimenez is always a massive, massive threat. Brilliant footballer. So we've got to watch out for him. It goes without saying, Ruben Neves. We saw him earlier this season. He's already been at his trick, scoring wonder strikes. It's what he does. So again, and we felt the effects of that. So we've got to watch out for Ruben Neves, Diego Jota, Adama Traores, João Moutinho. They've got a cracking keeper in there now as well, and good players like your likes of Dendoncker as well. So they've got quality that runs throughout the side, and they're very well oiled, they're very well organised, they play like a team, they play with fighting spirit, they play some beautiful football as well. An excellent manager in Nuno Espirito Santos, I think that's his name. I might have said it wrong, but you know, he's sound, he's a great manager. So, and you know, they beat us at this place, played us off the park, to be honest with you, last time round at Goodison Park. It was a really miserable game to be at, as we know. So Wolves, yeah, a bogey team for us, to be honest with you. We haven't beaten them since they've been promoted back into the Premier League this time around. It's going to be hard. It's one of them that I wouldn't be surprised if we won, if it was a draw, or if they won. I really couldn't call it. I think a lot depends on how we go out there with the intent. You know, for me to see Iwobi and Keane start would send the right message out. We're really going to go and have a go at Wolves. I think that's the way we have to play. Because they're going to come to us to play. They're going to come and want to win this game, I've no doubt. We want to win. We have to win. We're at home. And if we're going to be looking to finish above Wolves this season and be the best of the rest, or even crack that top 6, teams like Wolves at home, although they're good sides, we have to beat them at home. Have to. And then anything other than a loss away is decent. So, yeah, fingers crossed it'll be 3 points for the Toffees. But as I say, it's going to be a tough game. For me, I think key player again will be Alex Iwobi. He is just such a live wire. He's so big, he's so strong, he's got a shot on him, and I know that if he does get the nod to start, there'll be none of this faffing about. There'll be efforts in on goal early on. Same with Keane, and that's what we need. We don't want to sit back and wait. I think if we started with a different team at Villa, if we start with that team that we started with against Lincoln, I think we win the game. It's just we don't want to give, especially at Goodison Park. It was the same at Villa. I said if we let them score first, their fans are up for it. Same at Goodison now, especially after the frustrations of that. So I have every faith that Goodison will be rocking again, and we'll get right behind the lads. We need to, as I say, go at them with high intensity, go at them and show our intent from early on. Make a lot of noise, because it makes a huge difference, not only to our boys, you can see how much it spurs them on, but to the opposition as well. When Goodison's rocking, how many times do we hear players say it's one of their least favourite places to go when it's like that, because it's so intimidating? So let's make it like that tomorrow. Appreciate it's a 2 o'clock kickoff and it's a Sunday, so sometimes people are a bit not as up for it because they're not bevying as hard, or they're not, you know, they've got work tomorrow and you've got that Sunday feeling. But yeah, let's make Goodison nice and loud tomorrow for the boys, because if we win, of course, you know, again today some really bizarre results, teams dropping points, teams that we should be looking to be in and around or amongst, or you know, potentially even, well, we've got to be looking to try and finish above, and that's what you have to be aiming for. So the teams dropping points, we'll win tomorrow, will put us in really good stead. It kind of makes us not forget about it, but we put Villa to the back of our minds, go into the break then on hopefully 7 points, decent-ish position in the league. Yeah, and I think we all feel a lot better then. It's going to take a bit of time with Everton this season, it is, but again, we hadn't really seen much of our new boys. We hadn't seen Delph until Wednesday, looked boss. We hadn't seen Sidibe till Wednesday. He looks sans. I say Coleman will come back in, but I think he'll be all right. We've seen Moise Keane and Alex Iwobi both come in, both make their start. Boss. So you know, Gbamin's injured, which is a real shame. We've had a few little issues, and Villa, that it was just a horrible game, but by no means do I think that's the kind of thing that we're going to have to get used to this season. It might just take a little bit of time, but yeah, a win against Wolves on Sunday would do their confidence and just all of us Blues the world of good, and hopefully we can enjoy the rest of our weekends. So yeah, looking good for the Toffees, feeling so much better after Wednesday night, and yeah, can't wait to get back into the grand old lady tomorrow, and yeah, see you guys soon. Up the Toffees.